and welcome to Pineapple Talk. I'm Leah, the founder and president of Pineapple Support, a charity set up in 2018 for people working in the adult performance industry. We offer a support text service provided by trained volunteers and an online therapy service staffed by qualified counsellors, psychologists, and psychotherapists.
Hi, and I'm Shelley, and I've been involved with Pineapple Support since its conception.
If you'd like to find out more information on Pineapple Support, please visit the website pineapplesupport.org.
So this session is the second part of our series focusing on bullying. All of our guests have careers in the adult industry and have personal experiences of being bullied. So we're really keen to hear their thoughts and views.
So in this session, we are talking to Araneae Mactans, also known as Ari. Ari is an international fetish model, performer and dominatrix for over 15 years and lover of all things kink. She's also a Pineapple Support listener liaison and one of our ambassadors. If you would like to follow Araneae on Twitter, you can do so at XARANEAEX. And the website is araneae.co.uk. Welcome, Ari. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you guys?
Very good.
Yeah, not bad.
Very happy to have you on the show, my dear. Thank you so much.
Always happy to be here.
So you've been in the industry for 15 years. So I'm guessing that you have had your fair share of certainly cyberbullying, as you know, anyone I think with a social media account has experienced something of some sort. And possibly in-person bullying, because I know you work with other performers as well. Tell us a little bit about your experiences.
Gosh, I think in the beginning when I first got started, you're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you, as a model, you kind of understand that there's going to be like challenges, and you're obviously never going to be everyone's cup of tea. And I feel like in the beginning I was very hopeful, and I kind of didn't really want to believe that the world is such a nasty place. But obviously with the rise of the internet and social media and Twitter and Instagram and everything, it just gave so much more grounds for people to just say horrid and nasty things that aren't really warranted. Well, I don't ever think they're ever warranted, but you know what I mean. And it just... the in-person bullying, I feel like I experienced more of in the beginning. And then I think, the more I was online and the more noticed I was, the more hate you sort of get. I think at the moment, I don't pay much heed to the internet, the cyberbullying so much now. But it was definitely the in-person bullying to start with that was probably the most hurtful, I think.
Was that on set? Was it in social situations? How was that? Because it's, you kind of hope that people would grow out of this, wouldn't you? But even as an adult, in-person bullying is rife.
Subtle sometimes as well, but that's the thing, isn't it? As well as I imagine. Yeah,
it was a bit of both, really. Obviously, if you've got this online persona and you're this new model, and you're just coming into working in the industry, and you're on set or you're in person. If you're working with other performers, they may already have this perception of you, of what they've either seen in photos or heard from other photographers and videographers, and so they may have already prejudged you. So I think the prejudice definitely is there. I mean, I don't really suffer with that a great deal now, but it was it's really hard to swallow someone hating you before you've even met them.
Yes.
Just because they've seen your images, or and a lot of that, and I hate to say my mum was right when I was a kid, but a lot of that is jealousy, and them being jealous of either who you've worked with or the style of photographs that you have taken, or the set of the video, something like that. So I feel that it can stem from that. But my experience is, well, in the beginning, yeah, like I said, it was just a lot of prejudice and, oh, I heard you worked with so and so, and oh, I don't like that person, and they just started like slag you off behind the backs and talk to makeup artists about you, and it can be hard to work with people who have that prejudice against you, but you just have to sort of smile and get on with it and not let it get you down too much, because it will really crush your spirit.
I was just going to say, how do you react to that? As we were just talking to Brad before you, and he was, kind of kill him with kindness was his response. But that's as an adult, and 15 years ago, you weren't an adult. I mean, you were, but a very young adult that's just learning her way around the world, let alone the industry.
Yeah, it is difficult. I think I say this rather awkwardly. I had the advantage of being bullied when I was a child, so you sort of grow into ways of coping with bullying. But I think Brad has, quite a good grasp on things where you do kill them with kindness. You just smile and you just get on with it, because if you say nothing, they can't argue back at you. But to be honest with you, I can be, or I have been, quite confrontational, because I always fight for myself and my family, my friends. I fight for what's right. And if someone's just stood there slagging me off and they don't even know me, and they've got all this hatred for no apparent reason, I have sometimes stood my ground and said, well, you don't even know me. I don't know why you're saying these horrible things.
You disappeared for.
Oh, did I? Oh, I'm here.
I just dropped out for a second or two, so just lost that sentence there, I think.
Oh, I don't know what sentence I was saying.
That's a test for all of us now in our memories, isn't it? We're talking about the different age. You were saying that as you had an experience of being bullied when you were younger, that you felt that perhaps you had some mechanisms in place, when you were being bullied again as a young adult. And then we were comparing what Brad had said.
Yes. Yeah. I believe I said that he had a good grasp on killing them with kindness, but if you don't say anything back, you just smile and you sort of take it on the chin, and you just try and get rid of like their nonsense, and you focus on yourself and what you're doing, then it irritates them more. So they're just going to get more angry at themselves and with themselves, and it's going to ruin their day. And if you just focus on yourself and what you're doing, it can't, it shouldn't, what am I trying to say? It never used to impact me that much if I just really focused on what I was doing, because I always want to give 100% of my best to everything that I'm doing. So if I can just drown them out, then I can focus on me.
If you don't give them a huge reaction, then it's boring, and people will eventually stop, because there's no point in bullying somebody if they can see that they're not hurting the.
If it's sliding off your back, or it seems as though it is.
Although, you say this, but then if we look at cyberbullying, which is, the preferred method of bullying in these times, sometimes you don't get a reaction, and people will just keep going and commenting on posts for people that they don't know for no reason.
Yeah, yes. And another form in a sense, isn't it? Because they're not doing it. They perhaps they couldn't even imagine saying that to your face, but because it's behind a screen, it depersonalizes people, I think.
Absolutely. It's not a real person, it's a computer screen. What have been your experiences with cyberbullying? Do you find that you get more abuse from fellow performers, or from I'm going to say fans, from consumers?
definitely consumers. I very rarely get hate from anyone else in the industry. I mean, I might get a couple of bits from hearsay that has been spread around from like the old days, from like previous prejudices and such from people who don't know me, but mostly it's definitely from consumers, and they can be pretty nasty. It's obviously, if they're hiding behind a screen and they're being a little keyboard warrior, then they can say whatever they want and they can be as abusive as they like. And it's just, some of the things they say really hurtful. But at the end of the day, I think they're just really bored and they need a new hobby, because it's true. If they had something else to do, they wouldn't be on there, telling me that I'm going to burn in hell for my decisions. I mean, go somewhere else.
Harry, I was just thinking, because you've been in the industry a while now, do you feel, let's say, for younger people coming into the industry, and with that social media is so much more used, that there is a higher propensity for bullying? Do you think?
Absolutely, I really do believe that social media is really feeding the trolls. It can be a great way of getting, consumers and fans, but it can also, on the flip side, it can be just as easy to get someone who's not going to agree with what you say, who's going to really twist your words, and who's going to, scroll back and dig up the deepest dirt that you may have said one day, in your past when you were having a bad day, and bring that forward. And I think that, the way that social media is right now is abhorrent. It's just, it can be really like quite a vile place to be.
I think it can be very detrimental to mental health as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I'm just thinking of younger people coming into the work. They will not have, it's that they're still kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? They haven't got I'm doing something like bolstering. They haven't got the jackets to kind of protect them from the bullying, in a sense. They haven't got, what's the word I'm looking for? Cover. Armour. Thank you.
I don't know how I got that from the arm movement being in front of me there.
But yes, thank you, Leah. The armour for things to bounce off. And I just imagine that must have been incredibly hard.
Yeah. But I mean, you say that, but I think people coming into the industry now have probably had experience on social media for years.
True.
It's not like
True.
the likes of you and I. And I know that there's a lot of bullying that goes on across the internet for kids from other school.
True. They'll have those potentially have that kind of knowledge, won't they? They'll be sort of just jumping into it.
Oh, and I think that's possibly one of the problems when people come onto social media now from a young age and then go straight into the adult industry, and they're still, because they're so used to using social media as a personal account, to then come onto social media and as a performer account, and tweet the same thing, still talk about their private life when
it's not.
You shouldn't. There should be a limit to what you make public. And that can.
So I guess in terms of, I don't know what you feel, Ari, in terms of people's boundaries, isn't it? They're kind of their personal persona and their professional persona.
Yeah, I think if you open yourself up completely online about, family, friends, life, etc., in the normal world, or your non-working world, I think you do open yourself up to. It's a bit of it's tough, because on one hand you'll get people who really like that and they can connect with you because you're a real person, but on the other side